Apparently, Germany has changed its mind. It's no longer supporting the proposed ban on diesel, petrol, gas vehicle sales in 2035. Here's why, and here's what's going on. Hello, my friend. And welcome to the channel. I'm the Electrek Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to everyone around the world. I hope you've had an amazing day. Now, big thank you to our Patreon supporters. You make this channel possible. And thank you as well to the channel members. We have a members list and you get to see some of our videos earlier before other members. Now, I'll put a link in the description below to our member channel. You can check that out. Germany's finance minister has rejected a proposal to ban internal combustion engine cars. He's arguing for the development of synthetic fuels. Why? Well, I'll tell you exactly what's going on here and whose pockets are being greased, because there's some interesting political tomfoolery going on, which I think is a bit questionable. Now, according to Drive, a senior member of the German government has suggested the country will not sign on to a proposed law by the European Union to ban brand new petrol or gas and diesel cars from 2035 unless the rules are changed and allowed for synthetic fueled vehicles to be sold. Now, I'm sure you're aware of one company making synthetic fueled vehicles and investing hundreds of millions of dollars into it. That is Porsche. German authorities had previously requested an exemption to the laws for engine powered by synthetic fuels. Those so-called e-fuels, which are, to be honest, a misnomer, a myth, a lot of nonsense, would capture CO2 and recycle it into petrol, diesel, and jet fuel without adding any more CO2 into the atmosphere, as is the case with oil-derived fuels. Now, I made a video about the myth of synthetic fuels. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. You can check it out if you want to learn about what's really going on with these so-called clean fuels, which are not really clean. Two of the country's largest car makers in Germany see e-fuels as part of the industry's future. Now, in April of 2022, Porsche announced it was spending US $75 million to fund research and development of synthetic fuels using wind and solar power, with plans to build facilities in Chile, the US, and Australia. Senior executives at Porsche previously indicated their desire to maintain some variants of the iconic 911 sports car with an internal combustion engine in the next decade, powered by e-fuels. It's basically a way for Porsche to kind of make it look like some of their petrol-powered cars are green when they're not really. Anyhow, the other manufacturer who is investing money into these synthetic fuels is BMW. They announced in June 2020 they were investing around about $20 million into a startup which had created a way of creating synthetic fuels using solar power. Interestingly, Mercedes-Benz says it's all a load of nonsense. They actually said publicly in 2020 that they see no viable future to e-fuels and they're solely pursuing the development of electric cars. Now, despite this, environmental action was this week taken against Mercedes in court over allegations the car giant isn't transitioning to zero emissions vehicles quickly enough. So Mercedes-Benz are being sued by an environmental group saying they're not transitioning to making EVs fast enough. I don't know how you can sue a company for that. It seems a bit crazy to me, but anyway. Now, drive.com.au says that this activist group is pushing the same argument that it used to successfully sue the German government in April of 2021. At the time, the country's Supreme Constitutional Court ruled the country's laws were insufficient to successfully meet the 2015 Paris Agreement, of which it is a signatory. Now, Germany's finance minister, Christian Lindner, said his government, the German government, will not agree to the EU's move to ban the sale of internal combustion engine vehicles, saying such a move will destroy a decade of future technological development. I don't know about you, but personally, I see internal combustion engine vehicles as old development, dinosaur development. So I'm not really sure where this is coming from other than a political move. I think there's something going on between Porsche, BMW, and German government. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? No matter how noble the motives are, we have no way of knowing whether there are still options for technologies, such as synthetic fuels, which no one has on the agenda today, but could come back into view very quickly at a turning point in the future, Lindner said at an industry event. Now, it would be great if somebody would help to educate this fool who clearly has really no idea on what technology is going on right now. Personally, I think it's probably his job to become educated, considering he's in a position to have an effect on the lives of hundreds of millions of people in Europe. The proposed law by the European Commission, the EU's executive arm, sets a 100% reduction of CO2 tailpipe emissions from new cars by 2035, effectively limiting vehicles to either battery electric or hydrogen electric propulsion. So, this proves my point, right? He's saying that synthetic fuels should be allowed. But the reality is, if synthetic fuels weren't emitting any emissions from their tailpipe, then they wouldn't break this rule anyway. And there wouldn't be any need for changing the current rule that's been proposed as it stands, right? If synthetic fuels really were so clean, then why are they emitting emissions from their tailpipes? However, Lindner's threats could be just a bluff designed to pressure the European Parliament to accept special provisions for synthetic fuels. The German government is made up of a three-party coalition, with Lindner being a member of the pro-business Free Democrats Party, while the environmental portfolio is managed by the Greens' Steffi Lemke, who rejected Lindner's comments in a written statement. It's understood the coalition had previously agreed to support the internal combustion engine ban. Now Lindner is going back on his word and he's saying that he doesn't agree anymore. Now, this is what Lindner said. Synthetic fuels are a climate-neutral option for the internal combustion engine, which has been around for a long time. We must preserve this for our jobs. If the European Commission does include provisions for e-fuel-powered internal combustion engine vehicles, Drive.com.au argues that it could help provide an environmentally friendly way for developing nations that do not have the ability to quickly build infrastructure to support EVs or hydrogen cars, while also keeping long-haul diesel trucks and volume sports cars on the road. Now, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that 13 years' time from now, it would be economic suicide for a business to try to run using internal combustion engine trucks. The cost difference is astronomical. And this, remember, is only a reference to new vehicles, not old ones. Now, clearly Lindner's getting a little bit confused between the concept of a new and old, right? If anyone really wants to buy an internal combustion engine truck in 2035, they would have to be put in an insane asylum. Why? Because imagine the difference, right? You can already do 1 million miles in a battery electric vehicle now. Can you do that in a truck? 1 million miles? Absolutely not. Now, currently the cost of gasoline in most countries around the world is around about $1.50 to $2 per litre. What does this mean? It's completely economically unviable to run an internal combustion engine truck. Now, clearly Lindner has no interest in finding out the economics behind this and actually giving the public information that helps them. A lot of the public don't understand the reality is that battery-powered vehicles in 2035 will be absolutely a no-brainer, and you'd have to be absolutely insane to want to purchase a more expensive internal combustion engine vehicle in 13 years' time from now. That's my take on it. Let me know, though, in the comment section below what you think. And as always, have a great day. Bye-bye.